Hello everyone, and thank you so much for joining for today's video all about hashtags. Now, we know that major social media networks such as Instagram allow for up to 30 hashtags, which is not to say that we necessarily see people using these in the correct way. Now, hashtags are all about discoverability. So if you're wanting to grow your Instagram account, whether it be for your personal brand or for your business brand, it really is imperative that you come to know and understand exactly what hashtags are intended to be used for, because this will help you grow your following and therefore hopefully help you to market your product or your service. So if you're interested in watching all about hashtags and how to grow your following organically on Instagram, then please keep on watching. Now, the first thing to bear in mind when it comes to hashtags is that the more popular a hashtag is, the more competitive it is as well. So what does this mean? It essentially means that in order to rank highly for a hashtag, you need to make sure that the popularity of that hashtag is kind of within the realms of the popularity of your Instagram account. So if you have a huge following on Instagram, it means that you can use big Instagram hashtags which have loads of posts on them, and you stand the chance of being ranked really highly within those hashtags and therefore allowing more and more people to find your account through the Discover tab. If, however, you're just starting out, or maybe Instagram has not been a focus up until now, you might not have such a big following, which means that using big hashtags like hashtag Cape Town, for example, it's a really risky move, because what you're essentially doing is trying to bid for really expensive real estate when you just don't have the money. So it's a better idea to use hashtags that are appropriately sized to your Instagram account, to avoid using ones that are actually saturated. It's a saturated market, and actually you're not even going to be in the running to appear within that hashtag. So that's a really important thing to bear in mind that a lot of people don't consider when using their 30 hashtags. Now, as far as the number goes, obviously I say 30 because a lot of people joke, if you had 30 lottery tickets, how many would you use? It really depends on you in terms of what number of hashtags you feel comfortable with posting on Instagram. However, as I say, you can post a maximum of 30. In terms of where you can put those hashtags, it's also up to you. It makes no difference whether you include it in the actual caption of your post or whether you put it as the first comment in your post, because that's another question that gets asked quite frequently. But in order to determine what size hashtags you should be using, we're just going to run through a really quick exercise. So what you're going to want to do is do a little bit of Instagram hashtag research, and there are a number of different apps which can help you do this. One app which is fantastic for this is an app called Focal Mark. However, you don't even need to use the app if you don't want to. You can essentially look at competitors within your niche who post similar content to yours and see what hashtags they're using. And you want to have a sizable list of these, just so that you can do some initial research. So once you've got your list, what you're going to do is try and find and rank exactly how popular those hashtags are from top to bottom. So you're actually going to search for those individual hashtags on Instagram, and it'll come up with a figure just below that hashtag in the search bar. So it'll tell you how many people are posting and have posted with that hashtag. Then you rank them from biggest to smallest hashtags. And then what you're going to want to do is post an example picture. So obviously the hashtags have to be relevant to that picture, so don't just pick hashtags that are relevant to your Instagram account as a whole but not to that picture. Use very specific hashtags, but use this method to do so. And what you're going to want to do is use 3 different kinds of hashtags: a really competitive one, a medium competitive one, and a small competitive one. Or not such a competitive one, rather. And what this is going to help you do is when you go back and check in 12 hours time the engagement on those hashtags, so again searching each hashtag individually and seeing where you rank, you can basically get a wonderful idea in terms of what range of hashtags you should be using. So if you used a large one and you didn't rank, and you used a medium one and you didn't rank, and you used a small one and wow, there it is in the top 9, for example, then use more of those smaller hashtags. Because if you use medium to large hashtags consistently, it means that your posts are not going to be seen by people who don't already follow you simply because you're using too competitive a hashtag. So I really hope that that makes sense. Once you've found your range of hashtags that you should be using, what you can then go and do is just do some more specific hashtag research than the hashtag research that you've previously done. So if, for example, you want to find similar hashtags to Cape Town, you can just type in Cape Town into Instagram. It'll make a bunch of different recommendations and it'll show you exactly how big those hashtags are. So you can find ones that are most appropriate to the size of your account. As I say, it's always a good idea to look at what competitors in your niche are using, as this is a good indication of what other people have found success in using. So I hope that that really helps you as well. Something else that's really important to bear in mind when it comes to Instagram and how popular your post stands to be is how well it does in the first hour of posting. So there's a lot of research that's been done around how exactly the Instagram algorithm works, and whilst it might not be a perfect science because no one knows exactly how it works apart from Instagram, what most people say is that you can basically take that first hour of engagement and believe that it's only been served to a small sample size of your audience. So if, for example, you have 1,000 followers, consider that it's shown to 100 in the first hour. Instagram then does a very simple calculation in terms of how many engagements, so likes, that post is getting, as well as what the screen time is, so how long people are looking at your post. And it gives the platform a really good indication in terms of what kind of content and what quality that content is. And then what it then does is, based on that first hour of engagement, it then decides how many more and more and more people it's going to be showing to in the future. So that's a really good thing to bear in mind, is that that first hour really, really is crucial. Now, another really handy tip if you're using an iPhone, which I think makes hashtagging so much easier, is that there is a hidden feature which you may not know about on your phone. So what you're going to want to do is simply go into Settings on your iPhone. You then go into General. If you scroll down, there's actually a keyboard section which you can click on, and the second option is text replacement. So what exactly is this for? Well, if you click the plus side in the top right hand corner, you can actually paste all of your hashtags into that phrase section. And what you then do is you set a shortcut. So if, for example, all of my portrait photography has these 30 hashtags and I wanted to continue to have those 30 hashtags, I'm just going to put the shortcut portrait photography. What's then going to happen is when I post my next portrait photo on Instagram, I can simply then use the text replacement function thanks to my iPhone, which means I don't have to save those hashtags in my head, and I don't have to save them in a note somewhere only to be forgotten or lost. So that's also really handy if you're using an iPhone. So that's it for today, guys. I really hope that you found this video all about hashtagging helpful. I'd love to hear what you think of it. And if you liked this video, please hit the thumbs up. And if you love the channel, then please subscribe. Can't wait to see you guys for our next Do Digital video.